Well, a sizable amount of high-grade marijuana and some of its byproducts are off the streets tonight. It's called hydro, short for hydroponic marijuana. And as our Rudy Trevino reports, a 48-year-old woman has been arrested and accused not only of possessing a variety of illegal drugs, but also of manufacturing them.
This is 48-year-old Michelle Walters, busted Tuesday night at her home on the 900 block of Susan.
Found about 8 pounds of marijuana along with a small amount of methamphetamine and ecstasy and THC wax inside the house, along with about $3,500 cash.
Commander Todd Green says a tip to the department's StopDrugsCorpusChristi.org website led officers to the Southside home, where they discovered the high-grade weed by simply smelling the pungent odor as the door was opened.
They think of the old days where marijuana might go for $5, $10 a baggie or something like that. This is very high quality, very high THC content. It's not your mom and pop's, marijuana. It's not like the marijuana that was going around when you and I were probably in college.
And therein lies an even bigger issue: where the highly potent weed is coming from.
The indication that we have is it came from outside the state. It was probably shipped here in one form or another, probably from one of the states. We believe one of the states where marijuana possession and distribution is legal, and we're seeing more and more of that here in Texas.
Investigators believe Walters was using the high-grade marijuana to make THC wax, gummies, and oil, all byproducts.
It's being imported from Colorado, Oregon, Washington, California, these states where it's legal in some form or fashion, and it's being imported down here. And the simple reason is there's a lot of money to be made.
And this form of income production for Michelle Walters has landed her in state jail, being convicted 3 times for felony possession. Walters can now add manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance to that list. If found guilty, range of punishment could be 5 to 99. Rudy Trevino, 3 News.